Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Elise, and I'm here for your recap of Love During Lockup, and this is season 5, episode 24. Now, I know I said I was going to get this out last week, but so much has been going on in my life, and it's just been so busy. I'm definitely going to get that recap of Teeny and Rob to you sometime today, but let's get into this episode. So, the episode it actually starts out with Teeny and Rob. And if you don't know, Rob is always connected to Teeny. He has cameras all in the house and they communicate like a majority of the day. So it starts out with them doing a workout. So Teeny says they work out together about 3 to 4 times a week, and that's all good. Healthy life, healthy lifestyle, that's great. So they're having a conversation during this workout about Rob's mother, and Rob wants Teeny to meet up with his mother, and she's kind of dreading it, but she tells the story of Rob sending or asking her to send his mother some money and then actually asking for the money back. So instead of him telling her to give the money back to Teeny, he had Teeny call her and request the money back. After that, the mother hung up. They fell out. They haven't talked in about 3 years. So he wants them to sit down and meet up because he will be getting out soon. Teeny is not really looking forward to it, but we'll see how that plays out. Then we cut over to Joey and Michael, and Joey is at the gym working out. He says he wants to get into better shape for when Michael gets out, which is understandable because Michael looks like he's in pretty good shape. He's probably doing those gel workouts, no doubt. But we cut over to them, and on the previous episode, Michael asked Joey could he send a picture in because they had to have some kind of proof before he can visit him, proof that they knew each other before he went to prison. Now, I don't know too much about the jail system or what kind of things you need to make visits or anything. If anybody has more information on that, let me know in the comments. But I've never kind of heard that you had to prove that you knew somebody before you go visit them in prison. So Joey decides to Photoshop a picture of him and Michael together, and this Photoshop looks horrible. I'm just going to be honest. So I don't know how they're going to get away with that, but hopefully they do. So they're kind of setting things up so that Michael can meet Joey's family. I think he has two siblings and his mom and his dad, so it's five of them all together. Now he really does want Michael to be able to meet his family to see how they kind of take him because he wants to be with Michael. Now they get into a conversation about body counts and how many people have you slept with. So Michael was saying it was about 18 and that was during his incarceration. And then he said, well, what about while you were out? And Michael said over 100. And I was just kind of floored about it because, like, over 100 is crazy. I know he's like in his 40s or something, but over 100, that's just out here doing everybody. I don't know. It could be like maybe 7 people a year or something like that, 5 or 6 people. I didn't do the math, but it is kind of crazy knowing that what times we're in and what kind of things are out there that you can catch. I hope it was all protected. So both Michael and Joey have suffered with addiction previously, and they kind of talk about that. And he talks to Michael and tells him that he doesn't really want him to go back to jail. He's not going to be around if he does again. And he was like, yes, you will be around. So I don't know if Michael really has his head on straight to get focused when he gets out and to stay on the straight and narrow, but we will see. I am doing a deep dive on each one of the couples on Love During Lockup. So stay tuned for Joey and Michael's deep dive. I'm sure it will be interesting. So then they cut over to Shantae and True. So Shantae and True have a very interesting story as well because the gag is they never actually met in person. So they're on the phone talking about how it's going to be when he gets home in a little over a month. I think he has like 4.5 weeks or something like that left in prison, and he said he is looking forward to having relations 7 days straight. You better get some Epsom salt and sit in the bath, Shantae, or you better be prepared to soak, cause 7 days straight and he just got out of jail. I don't know. But anyway, so she's cooking dinner. saying that her family is coming over. So her family does come over, and they're kind of voicing their concerns about this man because she's never met him before. And they're like, what if you get around him and there's some things that you don't like, which could naturally happen. But she was like, I deal with y'all and there's things that I don't like. But that's her family. So we'll see how this is going to play out. She's also spent about $30,000 on True since he's been in jail. I will be doing a deep dive on them as well, where I get more into their story and check out their details. But all of these couples on this episode, or these episodes, look very interesting. Then we're going to cut over to Andrew. Now, Andrew and Candace. Candace is currently incarcerated. She should be coming home soon. Andrew has been taking money from his 401k to provide this kind of luxury lifestyle that Candace wants. So he's in the midst of packing up all of the belongings that he got for her. He's getting the Louis together, the Valentino sandals, all this stuff that he bought for Candace so he can go to visit her. And I think she's getting released soon. So he packs up all of these things and he starts to go on the trip. Now, Candace did say that she was willing to relocate when they met. I think they met on some kind of jail dating site. But now she's kind of saying that she doesn't want to go anywhere. Currently, they reside in two different states, and Andrew actually found her an apartment, which the rent for the apartment is higher than his mortgage. So he has he said 190,000 something in his 401k, and he's willing to keep borrowing for it to give her this lifestyle that she wants. So I'm kind of scared with this situation because it's like she's asking for all these things and asking for all this stuff, and I don't see any really love or attraction there when Candace is talking to him. It's more about material possessions, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to get into a deep dive with them as well. So in the process of him driving to go get her, they're on the phone and she's like, if there's any roadside stands, get some stuff. I love that. So she's yet asking him for more things and more things. So I don't know if this relationship is really all about love and security, but more about financial security. We'll see. So then we cut back over to Joey and Michael, and Michael's about to call Joey and his family, and they're sitting around asking what kind of questions can they ask. So he does call and he does talk to the family and he answers all of their questions. He kind of impresses them. I think Michael's a bit of a charmer. Just kind of, he's giving me like sweetheart swindler vibes, because he's very charming in everything that he says and how he looks. He's handsome, he's attractive, he has a nice body. So I hope Michael is not getting played because he's sending him money and putting money on his books and things of that nature. And like I said before, Michael has been around the block more than a few times. So they get into the conversation. They end the conversation. We find out that Joey's family has all had kind of addiction trouble in the past, whether it was alcohol or drugs, and they kind of overcame it, as Joey is doing right now. But we also find out from Joey's sister that he did relapse and do something with Michael being present. So now the family's upset. They're concerned. They're asking him, why didn't you tell us what was going on? And their concern is that when Michael does get out, then Joy will be more susceptible to involving himself with drugs and getting into drugs and some bad behavior that he had in the past. So I can understand exactly where they're coming from with that. So then we cut over to Ayana and Jamal, and they're talking on the phone, and they're excited because Ayana says she's going to have her first in-person visit with him. She's had video conferences before, but never an in-person visit with him, so she's excited about that. Also, she does have to go to anger management because she is due in court for those DUIs and the trouble that she has been in the past. So she's getting ready to prepare for that. So she's hoping that, everything goes well. So she wants to try to go to anger management so some of her sins can be reduced. They do have a concern, though. If she does get locked up, she could do 90 days or more, maybe. So if she does get locked up, she cannot communicate with him while she is locked up unless they do a 3-way call or something, which you're not supposed to, because prisoners cannot communicate with each other. So that's a concern as well. So she's getting ready. Her daughter is there to drop her daughter off. She is going to anger management. And she does talk about some of her issues with her past and why she feels the way she feels, how she's always had to be strong, and why she's so angry. So, seeing this part of the show, I can kind of sympathize or empathize with Ayana. Being that she has been through so much in life and she's felt like she has to do it all and take care of everything. So, I can see where she's coming from more than I could in that first episode. Also, while Ayana is talking to the therapist, her lawyer calls and tells her that her court date has changed. Now, that court date has changed to the same day that she's supposed to go visit Jamal in person. So, this proposes a problem, and she probably won't get to see him in person because she will have to appear in court, and this is a priority. So, she's very upset about that, almost in tears when she hangs up the phone. So we'll see how that plays out on the next episode, if they show them on the next episode or maybe after. Now, I did do a deep dive into Ayana and Jamal already. That's available on all my platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I will be getting together a YouTube playlist for all of the deep dives that I did on the couples, so you can check that out at your leisure. Now we cut to Teeny meeting up with Rob's mother. It looks like they are at some kind of diner or something like that. But Teeny walks in with a great attitude, smiles, and asks her how she's doing. Rob's mom just stares at her stone cold face. And she lets her know that she's really not feeling it. She really doesn't want to be there. You know, they have an issue because Rob told Teeny to send the mother some money. And then Rob told Teeny to ask for it back instead of him doing it himself, which he is in communication with his mother. There should have been no reason that he told Teeny to go to his mom like that, because that's not her business and that's your mother. So, of course, she's going to get upset at Teeny. And Teeny didn't want to do it at first. She was reluctant, but she ended up doing it and asking for the money back. And now the mom is upset because they had a disagreement. She hung up the phone on her. They haven't spoken in 3 years. So Rob's mom kind of expressed that, look what you're driving. You guys are living good. I'm over here struggling, trying to take care of my mother. And Rob could have helped me out, but he took the money back. So I don't understand why she's not mad at Rob, but she's mad at Teeny, because he's the one that actually wanted the money back. And Teeny shouldn't have let herself get put in that situation between a mother and son. So she's like, if you want a happy family, if Rob thinks it's going to be all kumbaya, basically, it's not when he gets out, because I'm not feeling you right now. Then Rob's mother goes into his ex-girlfriend. She would have never done that. She would have never did this. And she keeps kind of bringing up her name. And then Teeny feels very disrespected. So she gets up and walks out. Now, I don't blame her, because why would you keep bringing up this woman? You're actually trying to hurt me or try to make me feel a certain way, comparing this woman, saying she made sure you were okay. And it's nobody's job, not your grown kids, not your kids' girlfriends, or your son's wife, to take care of you at your age. You should be able to take care of yourself. I understand if you need help from your son, but you shouldn't be blaming her for something that your son is doing. And Rob should have never put Teeny in the middle of it. So the show actually comes to an end after that. I will be recapping weekly. I know I said I was going to do the first episode, which was season 5, 23, but I kind of tried to give you enough information in this episode so you get 23 and 24. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen between these couples. All of the stories are kind of interesting this time, and it's not one where I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch them all because I'm very curious, because it's a lot of twists and turns this season. So that's all I have for now. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, follow, and get in the comments and let me know what you think of these couples, these new couples on season 5 of Love During Lockup. And this has been Elise, AWTM, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you're looking out for that Teeny and Rob deep dive, which will be coming out today.